Steve, as always, great to have you back on the show. And I say this every time, it's been too long.
Always. I mean, we should talk weekly, but you guys, leave me behind. I don't know what to tell you. Glad to be a part of it.
We'll work on that. Let's begin our football conversation with your friend and current head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid. What would a Super Bowl win do for Andy Reid's football legacy?
I mean, it's very similar to mine. I mean, you saw the response and the reaction of the crowd and the team. I mean, I know that Andy doesn't want this Super Bowl to be about him, but inevitably a big portion of it will be about him. And it really is for his resume. Look, if I didn't win a Super Bowl, it would be different. I wish, that life was easier than that, but that's just a fact. And I think for Andy, it's the same thing. Hugely successful, coaching tree, legacy, incredible success, and a Super Bowl win obviously kind of makes, not finishes it, but certainly puts it in a place where, people will see it differently. I don't know how Andy will see it differently, but others the perception would change for sure.
Absolutely. It'd be nice to take away the verbal asterisk with his career and just say, yeah, he won one. He's in the club. He's inside, right? And it's fun because not only is Andy in it, Daniel Sorensen with the Chiefs and Fred Warner with the Niners. So for the first time in 11 years, BYU has a guy on each side guaranteed to get someone to win the Super Bowl from BYU.
I know, and Fred's done a great job. I think you realize that Fred came in and with really a lot of times in the pros, you need a sponsor, and I don't mean like an actual person, but just perceptually a sponsor. Somebody that you got an expectation, and Fred had none. And Fred came in and kind of carved out and clawed out his own place in with the 49ers, and now not just clawed it out himself, but now a leadership role and somebody that people are looking to even at his young age as a guy that runs the place. And I ran into Fred when I spoke to the team, and he was just fired up. I mean, he just loved the fact that I was there and the BYU connection. And Fred's Fred's still very much about the BYU Cougars, but clearly he's made a huge difference in San Francisco.
Yeah, no question. Speaking of Fred Warner and Dirty Dan Daniel Sorensen, both playing in their first Super Bowl, what advice would you give to those guys, this being the first big game that they've played in?
That's so hard because the game is so different. The timing, the routine is off. And football players are all about routine, and the whole week is a hype, and it's just a football. It's the football game is kind of embedded in the middle of just an incredible week of worrying about your family, worrying about the tickets, worrying about all kinds of things. So it really is, and it's up to the coaches to provide an environment where they can feel like it's kind of normal, like the time, how we meet, how we practice, what we're talking about. Nothing's out of the because you've seen teams that have not themselves when they get to the Super Bowl. And the last thing you want, look, win or lose, you just don't want to leave the game going, I don't even know who that was that played. I don't remember much about it. My fingers were numb, and I forgot about how to play good football. And that's the big thing. I mean, you can lose a game because you get beat, but when you beat yourself, that's when the Super Bowls losing, kind of self-inflicted wounds are, really bummers.
When you got to the one where you started and won, did it, I guess, of course, help you to have gone before and kind of had a sense of that difference in those games versus the regular games so that when you started, you were ready?
For sure. Oh, absolutely. I think Jimmy Garoppolo's got that advantage over really anyone else in the field because he's seen it. He's seen what it looks like. He's seen the drama. He's seen – that's helpful. I mean, to me, it helps you because you never fool yourself. You never think, I got this figured out, because you do, you don't, because you've watched it. And so I really think that's helpful.
Steve Young, three-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Football Hall of Famer, with us on BYU Sports Nation. How do you feel about the nickname Dirty Dan for Daniel Sorensen, arguably the most straight-arrowed guy in the entire league?
Well, I know the Jekyll and Hyde of football. Some of the nicest humans I ever knew were some of the toughest football players I ever watched or played with. And it was very, they'd go out of the locker room and go home, and you thought that they, it was time to go home teaching, and then they'd go to the play, and you're like, who is that guy?
Name names.
There's actually quite a few. This is not a rarity. It's not a rarity. And then sometimes you ran into a guy like Reggie White, where Reggie was, fury, but then he always wanted to talk to you when you got to the quarterback. Hey, Steve, how you doing? How's everything? I'm like, I'd be getting up from getting sacked. I'm like, Reggie, I'm not doing too good, buddy. I really don't want to talk to you right now.
Now's a bad time.
Now's a bad time. But he actually was worried that he wouldn't see me, and we were friends, and so he was like wanted to catch up, And so I told Reggie, I'd see Reggie at the Pro Bowl. I said, Reggie, I will make sure that we speak at the end of the game. I promise you, do not have to come sack me to have a conversation. I don't need extra incentive. But he was that way. He loved to chat. He wanted to make sure that you were, how's it going? It's like, it was classic. But yeah, there's super tough guys that, Tim McDonald, I played for many years as safety. I mean, here's a guy that you'd want to date your little girl, to, run your business, to, speak to the church. This guy is amazing. And then he gets on the field, he's a killer. You're like, whoa, okay, sorry. You're two different people.
Famously, Joe Montana has the John Candy moment, right? He sees John Candy. Did you ever have something like that where you just noticed something obscure in the middle of this game where you'd think you'd be 100% focused, but your eyes wander for a moment?
Mine was at the national anthem. The year before our Super Bowl, Whitney Houston just changed national anthems forever, in Tampa. And then we were in Miami. And Kathy Lee Gifford, I'm sure, is phenomenal human. But, it was just, as she was singing, I was thinking, well, wait a second. This is not Whitney Houston. I don't know if that's a John Candy moment, but I remember thinking, these things don't match for some reason.
Hey, amen to that. Yeah, no one can top Whitney. That's
amazing. Hilarious.
But she's great for a co-host on TV, but I didn't see her sing the national anthem, so that's all.
Totally fair statement. I want to go back to something you brought up just a few moments ago, the Pro Bowl. Your guy, Fred Warner, from your beloved San Francisco 49ers, got the snub. Do you think that made him play a little bit harder, Steve?
Well, I think Fred's in a mindset that, I'm not so sure he's super offended by it. He's really, like I said, he clawed this out himself, and so he's continuing to do that. And so I'm sure there's a little humility about where he is, and I think there's also a sense that I'm going to be around for a while, and I'm only going to get better. And people know Fred, and that's the thing. A lot of the Pro Bowl is perception. So the perception is Fred wasn't quite there. And whether that's true or not, we recognize that's probably not the right way to look at it. But the perception is going to continue to change. And in a couple of years, Fred will be like, the mainstay. Like he'll be like, oh yeah, Fred Warner on Pro Bowl, and for sure, And then you look back on your career and you don't even remember this snub. It won't even, I remember Peyton Manning early in his career. He can't do it. He can't win the big one. He can't beat the Patriots. He can't do that. He chokes in the end. And Peyton's going to be a great player, so you don't have to worry about some of this early stuff. And so I think Fred will look back on his career, his all pro career. He won't even remember this one.
What should Taysom Hill do for his long-term future? Because he's been this amazing Swiss Army knife. It's been so fun to watch. But in the end, he does want to be a quarterback. So should he wait it out post Drew Brees with the Saints or look elsewhere at some point?
I think he's got to wait it out because he's such a unique talent. He needs somebody that really, having the years in New Orleans, having the years with that system, having a coach that really you can tell believes in him and willing to take risks to try to put him in a position to play the position. I would not want to go wandering around. Now, there's a couple places you could go, coaches that you knew or systems that you for sure. Yeah, there's a couple spots that I think that you could move to, but 28 of them, I would not want him to kind of roaming around trying to, make a career at quarterback. I think he's there. Drew is not. Drew is now considering his future. You don't keep considering your future for years and years. And so I think he's in a great spot. I think they'll pay him as he waits, I suspect, because of the impact he's having already anyway. And so Taysom's got such a cool thing going in New Orleans, and the things that he's doing on the field, they're just going to expand on. I don't want him to move around. I mean, I moved from one of the worst teams to the best, and you couldn't dig me out of San Francisco. So I think that, no matter how it goes, I think that Taysom's got to stay there.
ESPN NFL analyst, BYU football legend, and Super Bowl champion Steve Young with us on BYU Sports Nation. Let's get right to the question, Steve. Which team is going to win the Super Bowl, the 49ers or the Kansas City Chiefs?
The question was, Roderick is going to keep calling plays.
Yeah, we need to discuss that as well.
Let's not get confused here. I mean, we got to stay focused, boys. Stay focused.
Yes. Okay. Hey.
Yes.
We're not afraid of that.
That is yes. Okay. Yes. We say yes to that.
Okay.
All right. Good. Now we can ask the other question. It's good. The matchup is a really cool matchup because, Kyle Shanahan, the last time he ran into a great innovative play caller in Sean Payton in New Orleans, they had it out. And the plays they called, the things they were doing, it was awesome to watch. But it was wide open and crazy. I just don't know if Kyle's going to play it that way. He might want to shorten the game and run the football like he's been so successful at. And that just changes the dynamic. And he'll want to win that game 28-21 rather than 45-41, And so there's these philosophical conversations I'm sure they're having now on how to attack this game. And I would think, for me, I would just want to just start early and often against Patrick, because I think Patrick, no matter what you try to do to him, he has a way of, exploding on you. And if you're going to say, look, I'm going to keep him under 28, I think it'd be tough. But I think that's how they'll start it. I think they'll start it to try to shorten the game. And in the end, I think it's going to be the last play. I think the 49ers are an incredibly put-together team as far as their locker room and who they are. This I got your back thing that they got going is really, it really matters. And in the end, I think that might be enough. So, I mean, I will always pick the 49ers, but I think that I think this one's tight. But those last second plays,
Okay, and let's finish with this. ESPN produced the top 150 players in college football history list. You were the only BYU Cougar on it, number 86. One, how'd you feel about that? And two, should Ty or Jim McMahon have been on that list?
I thought Jim and Ty and myself should be 1, 2, 3. I don't know what they were.
In what order, Steve?
Right? I don't. It doesn't matter. I mean, I just come on. Look, I learned the game from Jim. If I know how to play the position, I learned it from Jim. Jim was the most technically sound. As crazy as Jim is, he was technically as sound as anyone that ever played the position. The way he dropped through, how he read defenses, he was Joe Montana in college, and he went to a place that doesn't really help quarterbacks in Chicago. And I think that in the end, you look back over the many years, anyone who talks about college looks through the pro lens, and I think that's maybe why they weren't on it. It's just inevitable that you can't just separate it for some reason. Because both, when I remember watching Ty as a pro and watching what he was doing. In fact, many times I'll see a player who's got this innate, intuitive nature to the game. It seems like they just get it. And I'm like, oh, that's like Ty Detmer. And so both of them, I learned how to play from Jim, and I learned how to, Ty was back me up. And I remember coming off the field, and Ty would give me that look like, what are you doing? You're such an idiot. And I would always feel so stupid. I've been playing for 15 years in the NFL, and I'm like, oh, yeah, Ty, I'm embarrassed. Shit should have been better. Because he was that guy. He knew. He got it. So both of them, they obviously deserve it. And, I would love it if we were like 1, 2, 3 or whatever it was, just right together. Because awesome to be able to be there, to be around what we had going and what we hopefully will get going again and at times. And they should be on it for sure. Jim and Ty were phenomenal, no question.
Steve, always great to have you on the show. You're always welcome at BYU Broadcasting. Bring your family by anytime. Hang out in Studio C, and we'll continue our Aaron Roderick conversation very soon.
Just make sure Just make sure he calls the plays. That's all I care.
Thanks, Steve.
See you, boys.